Bones are not made of calcium. Bones are made of 12 minerals and 64 trace minerals. What are those minerals? So bones are made of boron, they're made of calcium, they're also made of chromium and iron, magnesium, manganese, selenium, silica and sulfur, and potassium, phosphorus and zinc. This is what bones are made of, and 64 trace. The clearest indicator of a creator God is seawater, because seawater is the exact same mineral balance and proportion as is found in the bones, in the tissues, in the blood. It's called an isotonic solution because it's the same mineral balance and proportion as is found in the blood. And so that's what bones need, right there. So where are we going to find that? We will find it in Celtic salt. Yes, the good news is you don't have to drink seawater. There's no need to drink seawater, and we don't want to drink seawater. It's not very nice. Doesn't it make you go mad? Seawater has 92 minerals, Celtic salt has 82 minerals. What about the Himalayan salt? The Himalayan salt is fairly close at 75 minerals, but personally I like the Celtic salt. It's a very moist salt, and it's a moist salt because it has 3 magnesiums in it, and magnesium is a water-hungry molecule, so it basically draws the moisture into it. So we will find this in Celtic salt. Dr. Robert Thompson says a crystal of Celtic salt on your tongue, give it a little chew before every glass of water. What it does is replace the minerals you lost yesterday. Where do we lose the minerals? We lose the minerals when we perspire. We lose the minerals when we cry. We lose the minerals every time we urinate, every time we go to the bathroom. So the waste that's coming out of the body is all salty, and I think we know that. So we need to replace those minerals. The other place you'll find minerals in that balance is dark green leafy vegetables. If you don't eat dark green leafy vegetables every day, you really should be having a dose of green barley, or barley greens, or super greens, or even chlorophyll. Personally, I'd rather eat a great big green salad every day. I've got some good news too. When you cook your greens, you don't lose the minerals. You will lose them if you throw the water away, so make sure you keep that water. I like to use waterless cooking. I put my vegetables in the pot in the tiniest little bit of water on a low heat. You need a nice heavy bottom saucepan, and keep the lid on, and you create a little oven in there. And by the time the vegetables are cooked, there is no water left. That's what I like to use. If there is a little bit of water left, save it and put it into your lentils, put it into another dish, because there's your minerals. So make sure you keep those minerals. Organically grown fruits and vegetables have a far higher mineral content compared to conventionally grown fruits and vegetables. Let me give you an example. An organic tomato will give you 9 times the iron content as a conventionally grown tomato. So even though the organics might seem a little bit more expensive to you, I believe they're not really when you consider the mineral content that you're getting there. So this is where we can get these minerals. Unfortunately, today, people are taking things that are leaching minerals. So we need to stop the mineral leachers, and that is refined sugar. One writer stated that sugar leaves the body better dressed than when it went in. I'm referring to the pure crystallized acid extracted from the sugarcane plant. Honey and maple syrup, I guess technically they're a type of refinement, but they're not refined to the point that there's nothing left but the pure acid. So if you do use a sweetener, please use your honey and use your maple syrup, but not the refined sugar. Because it is so naked when it comes into the body, it leaves your body with your minerals, dressed with your minerals. Also caffeine. Caffeine disrupts the neurotransmitters in the brain. Caffeine is toxic to the body, and it also is well known to leach especially the calcium and the magnesium out of the body, and your heart needs those 2 minerals to pump efficiently and effectively. All poisons all poisons, so that includes chemicals, drugs. They are all toxic to the body, and basically the body sends its minerals to clothe it to try and make it a little bit safe, so it's not going to totally harm the body. So these are the things must stop. Calcium cannot get into the body by itself. It needs vitamin D. So vitamin D is also important for strong, healthy bones. So where do we get vitamin D? It's the sunshine vitamin. Ultraviolet rays from the sun hit the skin and they convert a form of cholesterol just under the skin to vitamin D. Vitamin D is essential for the assimilation of calcium in the body. Now, why am I mentioning calcium by itself? Calcium is called the king, and because it's called the king, it's been misunderstood. It's called the king because when calcium gets into the body under the action of vitamin D, it pulls all the other minerals on the back with it. It does not strengthen the bones to take calcium supplements. You are now putting a mineral in that can cause an imbalance in the body. And it's usually calcium in a way that is not able to be absorbed properly by the body, so it can contribute to the build-up of kidney stones, gallstones. So it's better to take calcium the way God meant us to take calcium, is in balance with all the other minerals which you will find in your vegetables, especially your dark green leafy vegetables. You see, vegetables are high in fibre, high in minerals and low in sugars, whereas fruit does have some minerals but not as much. Fruit is high in fibre, high in sugars and low in minerals. And that's why God meant us to eat a variety. So vitamin D, how do we ensure that we're getting adequate amounts of vitamin D? The ultraviolet rays from the sun. So let's look at how this happens. From the sun, and particularly the UVB rays. So the sun's UVB rays hit the skin. So there's a couple of things that have to be present here. We have to have exposure to the sun, especially the UVB rays. Glass stops the UVB rays, and sunscreens stop the UVB rays. So those UVB rays have to touch the skin, okay? So that's one of the requirements. And just under the skin, there's a form of cholesterol. And this form of cholesterol is what the body uses to convert to vitamin D. So here's another thing that must be present, and that is good amounts of cholesterol. If someone's on cholesterol-lowering medication, they can have a deficiency in cholesterol and maybe not be able to make adequate vitamin D. What should our cholesterol levels be? They should be about probably between 190 and 300. One lady said, no, Barbara, the doctor said my cholesterol levels are 240 and that's dangerous. I said, well, it's not quite right. 40 years ago, if you had a cholesterol level 300 or under, that was perfectly safe. They dropped the levels to try and prevent heart disease, but it's made no difference at all. And the people that are put on cholesterol-lowering medication, it's not helping either. Heart disease is still the #1 killer. And the side effects of cholesterol-lowering medication are Alzheimer's, dementia, muscle wasting, memory loss, and they've just added another one, and that's breast cancer, because our sex hormones are made from cholesterol. We need it to be able to make vitamin D. Our brain needs it. It protects our cells against environmental poisons. We need it. So what has to be present? We have to have exposure to our skin has to have exposure to the sun, particularly the UVB rays, and we also have to have adequate amounts of cholesterol in our body to make the vitamin D. If we don't have adequate vitamin D in our body can't utilize and absorb the calcium and all the other minerals. So here's another reason why bones are deteriorating, not only because people aren't having the minerals, not only because people are taking things that are leaching the minerals, but they're vitamin D deficient.